I really wanted to like Stray, but I just couldn't. Hello everyone and welcome to a Backlog review, the series where I review a game that I've played recently. It's a very revolutionary idea. I'm sure you've never heard of anything like it. Today, we're going to be talking about Stray, which I played on PS5. This game's been out for a while. It is coming out on Switch soon, so I'm sure there'll be some renewed interest in it. I really want to like this game so bad. I love cats. I'm such a cat person. I actually grew up my entire life being scared of dogs just so that I could like this game more. But that really didn't matter to me when the gameplay is the way that it is, and we'll get into that. Just a basic overview. Stray is a game where you take the role of a stray cat investigating kind of a subterranean dome type of deal. Also, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the game. I'm not going to specifically go into any huge spoilers or specific characters, so like, just if you don't want to know like the general gist of the game before going into it, don't watch this. But if you're cool with that, hey, welcome on board. You're hiding from some sort of disease or global warming, something like that, I assumed was what was going on. There are all these robot guys that I assume humans built at some point that are just kind of rotting away down there and wonder about the outside but don't really do much to act on that. And it's up to you to kind of put the pieces together, literally, fix some broken things so that they can get into contact with people. Gameplay mainly takes the form of fetch quests that involve some very light puzzles and very light platforming. Someone will be like, I need to fix this transceiver, can you find the wires for it? And you gotta go and talk to someone with wires, but they'll need like a sweater to be warm enough to make the wires. I'm kind of butchering it, but it's that gist of you're just getting things for people pretty much because you're a cat and you can't do much on your own because you don't got thumbs or a good brain. So I think where this game really does fall short for me is the gameplay itself. It is a lot of just, you walk forward, you press a button to interact with the thing when it tells you that you can do that, and then you interact with that thing, and then you move on to the next thing. And even the platforming, it's not freeform in this game. You can't just like jump from place to place. It's like the platforming in like a Persona 5 dungeon where you'll get to the edge of something and it'll be like press X to interact, and then you can like jump down or jump up, which works if you're exploring a dungeon or something. But in a game that really should kind of be about traversal and how you move around, it just doesn't work at all. It like makes it a very kind of stale game to play, honestly, because there's just you really have to follow the exact footsteps that the game wants you to do. You can't really explore on your own or anything. You can explore and you can look at things, but it's very obvious where you're supposed to climb and where objects of interests are. And ultimately, a lot of this game ends up just being about being lost and trying to figure out where the next person you need to talk to is, which might work for some people, but I hate being lost in games. I think every game should have a mini-map that has a little arrow that points to exactly where you should go because I hate walking around and just not knowing where to go. And that's like, I think this game took me about 8 hours, probably 6 of those hours were literally just me running in circles being confused because it doesn't really tell you exactly where you're supposed to go and there's no map. So if you're someone that does not like being lost in games, this game's going to be rough. It's a lot of being lost. Like I said, there's some very light puzzles. It's usually like roll a barrel over a bit so that you can jump on it and then jump on a fence. It's never really anything super complicated. 2 times where I think this game's at its best. One is when these puzzles are kind of fun and interesting and you have like actual stuff to figure out and it feels good, like figuring out, oh, that's what that secret clue means. I need to go into this secret apartment to talk to this person to do this. It is fun figuring out stuff like that, but the game doesn't give you much of that. Usually it is just someone's in a random building and you need to kind of stumble upon it, or the game will kind of lead you there just with how it's set up. And the other part I like about this game is kind of just the more slice of life aspects to it, which really don't affect it at all, and you're not really encouraged to do them at all. I think it's pretty safe to assume the average person playing Stray probably likes cats, so if they find a carpet and they want to like make biscuits on it, that's awesome, and they can do that. And the game makers assumed as much, which makes sense. And you can sometimes like sleep on a pillow or like brush up against someone's knee, and that's cute because I like cats, and I really was hoping that there'd be more of that in this game, but it really doesn't lean into that. It's more of just a thing that's there because you probably like cats if you're playing this game, but it's obviously not about that at all. It doesn't even really like encourage you to do those types of things. You really kind of have to be seeking them out. And when I'm rummaging through someone's apartment for the 5th time because I don't know where the little piece of paper I'm looking for is, sometimes I'll scratch their couch. Whoa, big deal. I don't know what I'm doing. It is pretty short. A normal person who's not as perpetually lost as me could probably beat it in like 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours, I'd say. It took me like 7 or 8 hours just because the gameplay really doesn't work with how my brain works. I think another thing I don't really love about this game is kind of just how dark it is. Not that I think all games need to be happy or anything. I do like Kirby, but I wouldn't say every game needs to be as saccharine as Kirby is. But it is a weird juxtaposition where they obviously are trying to make you as the cat like cute, and you're supposed to do cute little fun things like brush up against people and make biscuits and stuff, but then sometimes there's just these disgusting pimple masses of weird little alien creatures that jump on you and like suck your blood and kill you, which is odd and gross. And yeah, I don't know why they would make such a sympathetic main character if it's gonna so frequently be put in such grueling situations. I guess you're supposed to care more, but it's not like the situations are particularly intense. It's more just, it's weird that there are giant globs of alien goo, human biomass, whatever, just everywhere that sometimes attacks you, and it's just visually gross. And, for a game that's visually so appealing most of the time, it's just odd. It's an odd thing to include to make the world so gross sometimes. And yeah, like I said, I could see people kind of not agreeing with me on that point. It's just part of the game, and it's supposed to kind of be about that juxtaposition of you're a cute little cat in this big creepy gross world. But I don't think it's very jarring when you see the fleshy mass stuff, because most of the time it isn't there and it isn't really involved at all, and it's only kind of there to give you little puzzle platforming sections where you need to run away from them. But yeah, it completely disrupts the flow of the game and just the overall feel of the game. But yeah, like I alluded to before, the visuals in this game are really nice. The lighting is really well thought out. The cat, they do a very great job like animating the cat, and it's very cute. It's a very cute little cat. The robot guys are very charming and endearing too. I think Skibbity Toilet has kind of ruined that style of character for me, but that seems like a me problem and not a person, not a problem in the game itself. That's my fault. They're charming and they're funny, and the dialogue probably could have been better for as much talking as you're doing, but I do like the voice synthesis they have. They have very weird Animal Crossing meets like computer voice type things going on, and I think that works very well for this game. But yeah, overall, I'd say I'm kind of disappointed with this game. Like I said, I love cats. I would like a more fun, kind of charming, playful game where you're a cat that maybe has just better gameplay overall. I can see why people do like this game, especially if you're into the more kind of walking simulator type of thing, which I'm not I'm not calling them a walking simulator to be derogatory. I just really don't know what else to call them. But like this, Uncharted, those types of modern games where you're really just experiencing a story, and that's what it's about. If you're into that type of gameplay and you don't mind being lost in games, then I could see you liking this game. But for someone like me who really is about the gameplay and also hates being lost in games, this really doesn't work. I'm feeling like a 4 out of 10 probably for Stray. Thank you for watching. If there are any other games you want me to review, let me know. I'll probably just review them as I play them. Yeah, I'm just testing out different types of content, seeing what melds with me, what melds with my audience, and let me know. What did you guys think of Stray? Hate on me in the comments if you love this game.